shit. 21 minutes. Just trying to think about potential league starters. So, we got the first 6 builds off the rank. Let's have a look and see what day 1 league starters were in the last. So, Necromancer was the highest proficiency. That's interesting. Purifying Flame. Cool. Alright, that might be viable. That is surprisingly powerful, actually. Storm Call. What? How is that so bloody powerful? Didn't last though. It's really good leveling. Should never recommend Spark as a League starter. Let's have a look and see what subsists after the first week. "15 minutes out." So, in the first week, Ice Spear was actually pretty prevalent. But how is that? Oh, that's realistic though, isn't it? Because it's like the first 7 days. That's not difficult gear to get. It's actually quite difficult, but no, not really actually. So 20 mil on Ice Spear, like off the cuff. So let's see, like after like 4 days, what was the highest build yield? Yeah. That's super powerful. It is a bit gratuitous though. How do you get that gear in 1 day? It's crazy.
What's up, dickhead?
Wait, streaming, douchebag.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
what's up, giant asshole?
Fuck you too, Yancey. Fuck you too. I'm just having a look at the builds from day 4 last year, in the last league, to see what was actually... Ah, fireball mines. Yeah, I knew that would be a good one.
Fireball mines. Anything mines is pretty good right now.
Fireball mines. It's super cheap, 8 mil DPS with minimal scaling, though it does use a shadow stitch. But you can get that relatively easily. It's not like rocket science to get it.
See, when I jumped on Twitch, I'm like, oh, you didn't mix it up, did you? You're not talking about that
No.
Warhammer Chaos Demon?
No.
Frontier Development showcasing it. It's meant to be like a launch day or something.
On the same day as the announcement for the PoE League. Good luck to them. Fucking
Jesus
stupid.
God, man.
How do the 4.7 mil is using Facebreaker? No? How the hell did he... Oh, that's bullshit.
Oh, it's like XCOM, the Warhammer one.
So you can get Ice Crash up there. That's melee skills that... Well, maybe they might have fixed it. Who knows? Weirdly Purifying Flame. Super powerful.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realise it was so powerful until I started, but I'm playing Blazing Salvo anyway.
So what do they call this expansion?
Sentinel.
Sentinel. Ooh.
You got no idea what it's going to be.
And look, it's got like circuitry in the background.
Yeah, I would say it'll be something interesting. I found...
They're gonna pull a Lost Ark movement and have mechas near the end game.
Oh, who knows? So, I'll see the patch notes. I've got the first 5 builds for the first curation. I think I know the second video. I'm just pulling apart and benchmarking now. Power Siphon's not viable. Blade Vortex, not really viable. It's not tanky enough. Ice Core Mines, no. Ice? No, not Ice Nova. Ice Nova sucks. Herald of Purity. Purity was actually pretty powerful. Yeah, hop minions. Oh, it's Arakalis. You can't use that as a League starter base. Nor that.
See what they're gonna put out, man. You can't. I mean, you can guesstimate best.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Oh, I wonder what they're gonna bring in though.
Well, they might fix melee, dude, and then melee's on the table again.
No. I want to see what they're gonna bring new to the table.
Oh, the mechanic.
New skills even. They might even bring in some new gems to give different effects.
Well, they should be doing that this league because...
I mean, if they're doing circuitry, like what? You got totems, so...
Well,
have some sort of
no, they nerfed totems last league.
Yeah, but I'm saying like turrets of some kind?
Maybe? It could be it could be lightning,
like
it could be... Well, if it's circuitry, it could be lightning. Or arcane skills.
It could be summoning stuff. Summoning like I don't know. Like what would fit into Path of Exile?
No, they're trying to nerf out summoners, man. They're definitely going to nerf Skelly Mages because Skelly Mage has been too powerful for too long.
Maybe they're nerfing it because they're going to give you an alternative one.
New skeleton minion.
No, I'm not talking skeletons. Like I'm talking like some sort of like I don't know, like a rock sort of thing, like a
stone golem. It already exists. Yeah. That's already in the game. There's a lot in the game, man. So, Fireball Mines seems to be super... Yeah, Fireball Mines, Cast and Crit Ice, be a Lightning Raider.
Have they released any new supporter packs? Or they haven't yet?
No, they'll release that as soon as because they've taken down the website.
Comes out. The website's up? What are you talking about?
What? No, the website was down.
Siege of Atlas.
Yeah, the website's currently down.
Is it really?
Yeah, they always take it down because they're uploading all the patch notes and everything. They release it just as they're releasing this. Yeah, I had issues getting Hatred in. That being said, you'll need Enlighten gems, and that'll pretty much get you over the line. But I'm gonna recommend that. That building. Oh, here we go.
What?
Oh God! What?
Why are we watching Osmond right now?
Oh my God!
Maybe this is from a previous expansion?
Oh, this is from past leagues, yeah.
Whoa! What? An Atlas
Oh my god!
Whoa! Holy
DJ League.
shit! Wait, what is that? Oh my god!
This is my favorite part of it. Four times a year, man. This.
Oh, you gotta show your boys who you in on this. Oh shit.
They must have something big for this one. Like, I'm hoping for PoE2 stuff.
What?
Well, I reckon, like, I'm putting my money on that. Genuinely
the
think
juice.
they will say something about this, but I reckon there'll be an Exile Con again. They'll announce PoE2.
They have Exile Con, we're booking it straight away.
Oh!
I can clearly see it. COVID's like, it's going down. People get like got the shots and everything, so flying and starting to get reinstated everywhere.
Oh shit! An Atlas wipe. What the fuck is this?
Chat's blowing up.
No influence. Yo. What the fuck? Yo, chill.
No influences. Oh my god, that Atlas passive 3 buggies!
Wait, what? Dude, that looks so much better! Like what I wanted.
What the? Okay, well, that's a lot of stuff happening right now. Whoa! What? That's a big tree, dude. That's a big skill tree.
Oh, I'm so keen for Blazing
New
Shadow.
items? Oh my god. The Atlas facets. Oh my god.
Are they gonna expand the passes? Is that why they keep showing this off?
What?
I don't know, man.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Ah, come on, 3 minutes.
I
Fucking
think they needed to do a little bit better than just a quick reaction thing of a 10-second clip.
Valuable new items. Atlas wide passive tree.
New influence mod.
Bet you they're gonna add freaking watchstones into the Atlas passive tree. They'll do that, and then they'll add another sextant mod into the passive tree.
Atlas passive?
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I mean, they're showing it off so much here right now. The
Yeah.
passive tree. They're clearly saying like, "Hey, we're gonna expand it."
We're gonna fuck with the passive tree again.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just when you thought we couldn't make it more complicated, here's another currency
Another
item.
one.
And another one. I should have taken today off.
What the fuck?
I haven't slept in like 36 hours, man. You get to 48 hours no sleep.
Atlas wide passive tree.
What? Wow.
Valuable new items. So we fracture outwards. And
Come on.
Atlas wide. What?
Oh,
I need to know what I'm going to spend the
What do you
next
mean
2 months of my
Atlas
life
wide
doing.
so Dumpy has said, you haven't done nothing. Have you seen that one, actually?
No.
It's about Overwatch 2. Dumpy made like a little video about Overwatch 2. Pretty good burn.
What the fuck? Oh.
The new mods that or the new crafting mats that they introduced last league were really good too. Like, they're actually game-changing crafts you can put on gear, the implicits. Yancey, you need to play this league. Play Blazing.
I'll make it to level 100 then.
No, you
Let's
won't.
do what you like.
Hello to a
Here
single
we go.
gigantic Atlas
Oh, here we
passive
go.
tree.
Shit's about to get
Good
real.
old Path of Exile. This new tree has over 600 passives available to choose from, and you can earn 117. Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Thanks for joining us today as we reveal Path of Exile's next expansion, Sentinel, which launches on PC and Mac on May 13th, and on Xbox and PlayStation on May 18th. Twitch drops are enabled for today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below to link your account and earn your Rapture wings.
Yeah, I got mine linked.
Ooh.
In February, we launched
I don't
Siege
think
of
I
the
actually-
Atlas,
No, I
an
do have
expansion
mine.
that drastically changed Path of Exile's mapping endgame. It removed Atlas regions and Watchstones and introduced the gigantic Atlas-wide passive tree and 4 new pinnacle bosses to challenge. One other very important aspect of the new endgame is its modularity. We designed it in a way where it's easy to expand with more content, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Alongside the Sentinel Challenge League, this expansion doubles down on the best parts of Siege of the Atlas to give you ultimate control over your endgame experience.
Yeah, they've added more.
Here's what you can
Really?
expect from today's livestream. We'll start with a trailer for the Sentinel expansion, and then we'll go through its content and features in detail, starting with how the new Sentinel Challenge League lets you control your level of risk and reward. We'll then move on to the improvements we have made to Path of Exile's endgame. We'll discuss modifications to the Atlas-wide passive tree,
Yeah.
the introduction of 20 Atlas Keystone passives.
I fucking told you! I
variations
told
of
you!
pinnacle boss fights,
Yeah.
and powerful unique items designed by the winners of our Siege of the Atlas boss kill event. Following that, we'll discuss the type of balance changes we're making, or more interestingly, not making in this expansion.
Yeah.
We'll then
Damn
cover what we're
straight.
doing with magic and rare monster
Don't
modifiers,
nerf.
various quality of life improvements, and the full release of controller
Ooh,
support
well, I wonder
for
what the
PC
life
players.
improvement is.
Oh, game
After
controller.
showing you our latest
There you
supporter
go,
packs,
Yancey.
I'll head into a
Made
live
for you.
Q&A with community streamer Ziggy D, where we'll answer your
What'd you do if I
questions.
get to level 100? Was
Once
the
that
next one?
finishes, we'll
Oh,
post the
yeah.
expansion's
never
full
gonna
patch
happen.
notes. There's a lot to cover, so let's roll the trailer for Sentinel.
Exciting. Sheesh.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
In the wake of your power, something has arisen.
Wait.
Dark sentinels, hungry for a share. But these
What the
cruel constructs can be harnessed.
Oh, that's so cool.
Take
That
them,
is sick.
bind them to your will.
Oh, man.
I
Companions.
want the attacking one. Look at that shit. man.
Test and tinker, combine and reconfigure.
Fuck off.
And together, you will find your fortune.
That's sick.
Some sentinels are powerful. Others are dangerous. But in a world with shifting stars, monstrous new threats,
Oh, Uber Pinnacle?
valuable
What?
treasures, you will need them.
Holy shit.
Sentinels
were-
Fucking
await
giant.
your command.
You weren't far off with mechas. You weren't far off.
Yeah, but that red one, the attacking one. Oh, what's the yellow one does? Was that like a buff? Was he giving you like massive buffs?
I'm sure you have a lot of questions, so let's get started with a full explanation of the upcoming
Holy
Sentinel Challenge
fucking
League.
Shit, dog.
Sentinels are ancient constructs that have been unearthed across Rayclast. In this league, you will collect these Sentinels and attempt to harness their great power. But this symbiosis is not without risks. Once deployed, a Sentinel follows you, watching and waiting for you to enter combat. As you encounter enemies, the Sentinel will fire a beam that doesn't damage the enemy, but rather empowers them. This not only amplifies the difficulty of the foe, but also the rewards that it yields. There are 3 classes of Sentinels that you will find as you kill monsters in this league. Stalker Sentinels will follow you for around 30 seconds, empowering dozens of monsters before they dissipate. This is like a build-your-own breach or delirium effect, because you control what monsters you're fighting when you deploy the Sentinel, and through various means that we'll describe shortly, you're also in control of how much the monsters are empowered.
I'm not sure yet.
In contrast to Stalker Sentinels, Pandemonium Sentinels are designed for mass area of effect, and typically only fire one shot. But this shot really counts, chaining between monsters to affect an entire screen full of foes at once. This class of Sentinel can be very dangerous because it empowers so many enemies at one time. The final class, Apex Sentinels, can only empower rare or unique enemies. They fire fewer shots but have a much larger impact on difficulty and reward.
How
You
much
start
is
with a
the
single
reward
slot
like?
to equip a Stalker Sentinel, but as you play
Find
through the
out.
league, you can eventually unlock 2 more Sentinel slots so that you
So
can
you
have
can
one
have 3.
Sentinel of each class equipped at a time. Each class of Sentinel can be deployed only once per area that you play. You'll quickly develop various strategies for when each class of Sentinel is best used. For example, saving your Pandemonium Sentinel for when you're surrounded by monsters, or using your Apex Sentinel on the map boss or league content that spawns several rare monsters.
Wait,
With
is
a
this
full
the
loadout
hard
of
mode?
Sentinels equipped,
No,
in
no.
every map you'll get to empower bosses of your choice, juice up an entire screen at once with a button press, and choose the part of the map where it's best to empower a series
They've
of
shown a
dozens
lot of
monsters.
melee skills, which indicates
Yeah.
they've fixed melee.
Sentinels cannot be damaged by monsters in combat, but do gradually deplete their internal power supply each time you use them. They can be found as you play and are incompatible with traditional Rayclastian crafting techniques. However, new Sentinels with different properties can be assembled from the depleted husks of others that you have used until their internal power supplies ran out. We'll explain that crafting process in more detail later on. You can find magic Sentinels that have mods on them. These mods can augment the base properties of a Sentinel, extending its duration, making it empower monsters faster, increasing the number it can empower, or even the degree to which the monsters are empowered, affecting both their difficulty and rewards. Some mods will add specific drops, such as currency items, essences, or unique items, to monsters empowered
That's
by
gonna
the
be
Sentinel,
that's gonna be
but at the cost
that's
of
gonna be
increasing how
abused.
difficult the monster is to defeat.
Super
You can also
abusive.
occasionally
modify
find
it,
rare
though.
Sentinels that have more than 2 mods on them. These are generally quite a lot more powerful than normal or magic Sentinels if you find the right combination of mods.
Unique rewards.
The Sentinels you find as you explore Rayclast will become more powerful.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
particularly
shit.
powerful ones with special properties can only come from the process of assembling new Sentinels from depleted ones.
That aggro mechanic is
Oh,
not.
40%
While the Sentinels you
increase.
find generally get
speed,
better and
damn.
better as you play through the league, you can also upgrade the behavior and properties of Sentinels through your Sentinel Controller. The Sentinel Controller is like a runic circuit board. It's what powers your Sentinels and allows you to customize them. There are specific nodes for each of the 3 types of Sentinel, so you can customize the properties and behavior of all of them, or potentially focus on your favorite base types. As you play through the league and kill more and more enemies affected by your Sentinels, your controller will gain power. You start with 4 units, which is enough to power your first Sentinel slot and your first runic node. By the endgame, you are able to work up to 30 power units, which is enough for almost half of the controller to be powered at once. So how do you choose which runic nodes to power? You do this by connecting them together with filaments. Power flows from the top of the circuit through the filaments until it is all in use by the nodes you have connected. You can set up filaments in advance and they'll automatically be used as more power becomes available. Moving filaments around has no cost. It's basically like a planning tool that gradually gets activated as you gain more power throughout the league. So you're not locked into a specific plan and you can respec for free at any time. Some powerful runic nodes require 2 filaments and hence allocate more of your power when activated. Additional Sentinel slots, For other types like Pandemonium and Apex Sentinels, for example, require 3 filaments, and hence 3 power units each. While it's almost always best to have all 3 slots powered so you can use all 3 Sentinels per area, there are niche strategies where you want to unpower specific Sentinel slots in order to have more power for additional runic nodes, also that you can fully specialize in just 1 or 2 Sentinel types. Just to reiterate, you can change your allocation as much as you like, so feel free to experiment.
Don't usually do that in mechanics.
Someone's
This
gonna
powerful
just do
runic
the
node
blue
allows
and the red.
Pandemonium
I'd
Sentinels
just go
to be used
for
an additional
quality.
time in each area. While this
Yeah.
is basically pure upside, you should definitely plan around the fact that you'll be running their charge down pretty quickly if you use this node. This runic node prevents your Stalker Sentinels from empowering normal rarity enemies. While this seems very powerful at first because you'll just be empowering magic, rare, or unique enemies that benefit greatly from the boost to item drops, you should be aware that unless you have a large source of special enemies, you'll be fighting against the flight duration of your Sentinels and will probably want to build around increasing their duration. While the Sentinel Controller lets you specialize how the different classes of Sentinels behave, it's generally not necessary to have to modify it for each new Sentinel that you equip. The runic nodes you have chosen represent your overall strategy for each class of Sentinel and rarely need to be tweaked if you swap one Sentinel for another. As you use Sentinels in combat across a number of maps, they eventually run out of charge and will become depleted, but they don't need to be thrown away when this occurs. You can find power cores that let you assemble a new Sentinel with a full charge. This process disassembles 2 existing Sentinels and creates a hybrid of the 2, with their properties combined together.
Okay.
Right-clicking a power core opens up an assembly screen.
Currency
If you
item.
insert 2 Sentinels and click the Assemble button, a new, fully charged one will be created.
The fact that you gotta keep it charged all the time means if you do like delve runs, what, you'll have
This
to carry a
process is a
couple?
complex and
You
unpredictable
won't
one
use
that
it.
can
You
either
won't use
inherit
it in
properties
delve.
from the input Sentinels or potentially produce new
Just for
ones that
mapping.
weren't based on either of them. For example, the base type of the Sentinel could either be the left input Sentinel, the right input Sentinel, or an entirely new one that can't spawn naturally and can only come from this process.
What are you gonna use this on?
The same applies to its modifiers. You generally get a mix of modifiers from the 2 input Sentinels, but sometimes they have their tiers upgraded or entirely new mods added, occasionally including ones that are exclusive to the assembly process. The end result is that you're usually getting Sentinels that are similar in function to the depleted ones you have combined, but occasionally mutate in new ways, producing results that unlock more power and possibilities. The best Sentinels in the game will come from lucky combinations of depleted Sentinels that have just the right mods. It's also possible to assemble 2 Sentinels directly into one of the many valuable unique Sentinels.
Ooh. Currency rewards.
Specialized power cores exist, which influence the assembly process to greatly increase the chances of various interesting outcomes occurring. They don't guarantee anything, but are absolutely worth considering if you're trying to hit unlikely assembly results.
Might get the skill rebalance.
You may want to accumulate a small collection of depleted Sentinels so that you have options to assemble together. That's where the Sentinel Locker comes in. It's a free
The
object
chat
that you can
for,
place in your
Path
hideout
of
that
Exile.
allows you to store stacks of each of the Sentinel
Yep.
currency items, as well as a tab full of each of the 3 categories of Sentinel. You can also store Sentinels in regular stash tabs, and they can be freely traded with other players. The Sentinel Locker's affinity for Sentinels will also work with regular stash tabs while this league is active. As I hinted at before, you can find or create unique Sentinels. These have powerful static properties, but because they cannot be combined with other Sentinels, there's no way to recharge them once they become depleted. They are essentially limited use items with powerful effects. Let's look at a few examples.
What is that? I've never seen that.
First
The
of all, we
hollow
have
eyed.
the Basilisk. This is a Pandemonium Sentinel that augments its wide area of effect blast
Damn
with
it,
the
Chris.
petrification effect.
Wait.
Any monsters caught in the blast are turned to stone. Rather than being primarily useful for raising the risk and reward of combat like other Sentinels, this one is incredibly useful as an emergency button in combat. By activating
Oh
the
shit,
Basilisk,
okay, so they
you
are
can
gonna
freeze
give you
most of the
some
monsters around you in
little-
place, letting you take control of dangerous situations.
Yeah, but
Okay, that's pretty cool.
This
it won't
super
matter
Sentinel,
because
the
we'll
hollow-eyed
build builds
skull,
that can
is
rip this
basically
anyway.
a headhunter in Sentinel form. There are also a set of unique Sentinels that are designed to empower specific named Atlas map bosses.
Okay.
If you activate one of these Sentinels while fighting that boss,
That
it
skill's
empowers the
Blazing
boss into
Salvo.
an extremely dangerous version that is very, very rewarding if you can defeat it. The highly empowered boss fight is further scaled by whatever mods are on the
That's
map
pretty
that
cool.
contain it, so you'll want to be pretty careful with what mods you choose to use. On the other hand, its rewards are scaled by reward bonuses on that map, so if you're able to defeat one
That's
of these
a really
bosses in a
weak
juiced map,
version
you
of
will
what I'm
certainly
gonna
be
be playing.
greatly rewarded. These highly empowered map bosses are the best source of recombinators, a new type of endgame currency item that can be found in the Sentinel League. Recombinators allow you to apply the Sentinel assembly process to two pieces of
boss
equipment
farming
of
is
the
gonna
same
be a
item
thing
class,
again?
combining them together in unpredictable ways. This process can also rarely imbue your items with exclusive modifiers that don't normally spawn on that type of item.
Oh god, new
While the
crafting
recombination
meta.
process involves significant
Oh,
risks,
man.
you could combine the best parts of two rare items together,
I know.
maybe getting a lucky exclusive mod spawn, and end up with one of the
Yep.
best weapons, armor pieces, or jewelry in Path of Exile.
And they're going to be
Sentinels
ridiculous
can be deployed
mods.
while engaging in other League content, so you can juice the risk and reward to quite crazy levels. For example, you could enter a Mirror of Delirium, trigger a breach, and deploy your Sentinel at the same time, causing the monsters to have 3 significant modifiers to both their difficulty and rewards. There are only a few specific areas that Sentinels can't be deployed in, mostly for technical reasons, and those are unique maps, Pinnacle Atlas bosses, and the Simulacrum.
Yeah, but what does that mean? So I'll get to carry a couple of Sentinels to do runs?
So that's
With
Sentinel
one
in a
run out of
nutshell.
charge?
You'll
It's a
already
combat
have them
league that gives you
attached.
heaps of control over the exact risk and reward.
So you'll be able to do a
encounter.
few maps
It
with
stacks
one
with
set
other
of charges.
combat-enhancing league mechanics, juices your endgame bosses beyond any kind of reasonable difficulty, lets you play with temporary headhunters, and might even let a few players assemble some pretty
Maybe
insane
this
rare
is
items
a
if
trial
they're lucky.
version of...
We're very much looking
Path
forward
of
to seeing your
Exile hard
stories
mode.
after you've had a chance to play
No,
with it
no,
next
no.
week.
This is just league mechanic, man.
In addition to the Sentinel
go.
Challenge League, this expansion further improves on the new endgame introduced in Siege of the Atlas, its Atlas-wide passive tree and pinnacle boss fights.
Yeah, okay.
The new
Yeah,
endgame
you
was
got.
designed to give you ultimate control over what kind of content you want to play and how difficult and
Uber
rewarding you want it
bosses.
to be. With the Sentinel expansion, we are doubling down on what makes this new endgame the best one that Path of Exile has ever had.
Don't say
This
Uber
expansion
Maven.
introduces 20 powerful Keystone passives to the Atlas tree.
Fucking Uber Maven.
As you know from the regular passive skill tree, Keystone
Yeah, it's a
passives are
Maven
usually
node.
dramatic and build-changing, with both upsides and potential downsides. Each Keystone can completely change the way you play Path of Exile's endgame, and we have designed Keystone passives for many different playstyles and situations. The second big change is that we have introduced these clusters of passives that grant you even more control over what
Build
endgame
a
content
main.
you encounter. As you know, you can encounter many different types of past league content randomly within maps. These new passives allow you to
It's not
prevent
bad.
content you don't enjoy from
Oh, it's
appearing
not.
randomly,
Content
while
blocks.
simultaneously causing other content to spawn at a higher rate. Aside from the obvious convenience of only encountering the past league mechanics that you choose, the system is great for target farming specific content that you have juiced on your Atlas tree.
So what we're going to
Thirdly,
have to make
we have
up with
created
dedicated
incredibly difficult and
characters
rewarding
for farming
Uber versions
now.
of 7 pinnacle boss fights, which can be accessed via 6 new Keystone
Is it
passives.
Uber?
These fights are designed to
Uber
challenge
Cyrus.
the absolute best Path of Exile players, and suffice to say, they are brutally
I'm going to be
difficult.
ripping all these bosses.
Let's
Don't
take a
worry.
look at some of the new Keystones and boss fights. The singular focus keystone makes it significantly more likely that your favored maps will drop.
Oh,
If a
okay.
map drops that is not one of your favorite
Okay.
maps, it will be converted into a random currency item. This means that you'll exclusively see your favored maps, and outside of that, more currency. This
Yeah,
is the
it's not bad.
realization of the I only want to play one map dream that some players have.
Yeah,
It also
Strand.
helps players who are
Yeah.
overspending
I only wanna
maps
play
and would rather
Strand.
just get extra
Yeah.
currency items. The stream of consciousness keystone prevents you from modifying your maps with fragments or scarabs, but means that when extra content is being rolled for your maps, each of the base chances is 50% higher.
Ooh.
This is
That'll
really
be
useful
good.
for players who don't want to have to think about juicing their maps and would instead prefer to get a constant moderate bonus instead. The following 2 keystones are for very advanced players who have completed their Atlas trees and want to get a very specific outcome with all of their skill points. The Wandering Path keystone increases the effect of small passives on your Atlas skill tree and disables all notable passives.
That doesn't seem like a good...
The Grand Design keystone
know,
increases the monster
now that
pack
I'm
size in
thinking
each of your
about it,
maps by
why
an
didn't
amount
they just
proportional
put
to the
this
number of
into
notable
the-
passives you have allocated.
Instead of making it
However, the
allocated
trade-off is that
points.
small passives have no effect.
That's not good.
Yeah.
These 2 keystones are very
You
good for
literally
specializing
you
into
have to make a
maximizing
farming-
pack size
you
and
have to make
quantity
a
at the
dedicated
expense of
farming
specific
character.
Oh,
league
they
content,
always do that,
which is
man.
great for
It's-
general Magic Find builds
It's
or
like
divination
gold
card
characters
farmers.
different too.
Yeah, but
The Twist of Fate
Yeah,
keystone
okay.
changes the behavior of corrupted rare maps in unpredictable ways. Upon entering a map, you may be sent to an alternative map of the same tier with randomized modifiers. All of the master missions, scarabs, and Kirit crafts applied to the map will also be randomized. This process will not pick an outcome that was already on the map, so it always shifts it to a new property that you didn't have before. This means that you can play all of the scarabs, master missions, and maps that you enjoy, and any leftover ones can be randomized to new outcomes, which are guaranteed to not be the ones you started with. This may have some interesting economic consequences as well, with players feeding bad scarabs or maps into the Twist of Fate lottery. The Wellspring of Creation and Dance of Destruction keystones change the ratios of monster life and damage in maps on the Atlas, so that they're more dangerous and less tanky, or vice versa.
Okay.
These two keystones are designed to be remedial, allowing players with an abundance of offense or defense to normalize themselves so that they can handle
That's
the
pretty
content
good,
better.
actually.
Yeah,
I like
that's
that.
what
If
I
you
was
find
gonna
yourself in a
say.
situation where you're waiting for a weapon upgrade or can't fix your resistances, then you could allocate one of these keystones to
That'd be
temporarily
worth-
make
that'd
things
be
easier
worth it
before
early game.
unallocating it later when your build is complete.
What did you say?
No, what? Sorry?
Shut the fuck up, yeah.
6 new keystones create
This
uber
is
versions of Path of
this
Exile's
is
pinnacle
this
boss
is the one
fights.
that I like.
Benarius, Cyrus, the Maven, the Searing Exarch, the Eater of Worlds,
Oh, Uber
and the
fucking
Shaper and Uber
Maven.
Elder, who I guess is now
Oh my
called the
god.
Uber
Oh my
Elder.
god.
The Uber Elder.
Just the
Allocating one of these
achievement,
keystones on your Atlas passive tree ramps up the
0.01%.
corresponding boss fights so that it is extremely
The Uber
difficult.
Elder.
Like, really
Oh
hard.
my god.
Harder than saying goodbye to Zana hard.
They say
Only
that.
allocate these keystones if your character is extremely
should be
powerful
there.
and you know you can handle the challenge.
Yeah,
In general,
I'll
the
be fine.
encounter's rules are modified to be far more punitive and difficult. In return, though, you can earn some very enticing rewards. Each of the Uber fights has an additional high chance reward and a chance of getting a
Ooh.
very, very rare chase reward.
Yeah, they're definitely
For
showing off more
example,
melee
the Uber
builds.
Maven guarantees an elevated sextant if you're able to complete the encounter. Very rarely, though, you may be able to earn an awakened exceptional support gem as well, such as Empower, Enlighten, or Enhance.
Oh, what?
Holy shit.
These
Oh,
keystones
they didn't
unlock
even
crazy
know they
items which
they
are
added
most aspiring
awakened
players
versions
with
of
a deep in
those.
Path of Exile's endgame. They add a new level of difficulty for those who want to push their builds even farther than they ever have before. The keystones we have shown you so far are designed around many different types of endgame players. Some glass cannon players
show me
struggle
some
with
of the gems.
defenses but have
Show
no
me the
problem with
good shit.
offense. Some players want to just play one map. Some players want the difficulty to be ramped up and to receive rewards commensurate with this added challenge. The keystones also let you identify a specific reward, type of content, or playstyle and know exactly how you can get the most out of it. There are a number of other new keystones that we'll reveal before release. Like the ones we have shown you today, these keystones require you to consider your endgame plan in an entirely new light. We're very interested to see what strategies you will
Cyrus
use to try to
farming.
conquer the new Uber pinnacle bosses.
I'm gonna be hammering Ubersaurus.
Before we get into the new unique items, there are a few other endgame Atlas changes that we should cover.
Ooh,
We
okay.
are removing Vinctar's Square and Doyani's Machinarium from the Atlas of Worlds because they're
Yeah.
not natural map
Yeah, no
drops.
one uses
Yeah,
it.
You can
they're
still
hard
get and
ones
play
to
these
get.
maps, of course, but they aren't counted for your overall Atlas completion anymore.
Doriani's was
Their
going for
Atlas
10
passive points
acts.
have been moved to rewards for defeating the Infinite Hunger and the Black Star. We have rebalanced influence altars and maps. They now feel a lot different than they did in the form they were introduced in Siege of the Atlas. Their downsides now feel more impactful and they have more diversity of rewards, including new rewards. The intention is to fulfill the original design goal of having an ultimatum-like choice about whether you want to accept additional challenge for additional reward.
Blazing
We've
Salvo.
added better Atlas tree
Yeah, they're
support for
showing that
them,
off a lot.
including 2
Yeah.
keystones that can affect them.
What are they doing to it?
We've also
Don't know,
rebalanced
man.
the drop
I
weightings
feel
of the
like
new
it's gonna
Pinnacle
be
Atlas
pretty good.
bosses, changing
Well, they
the
were showing a
relative
lot
drop
of
weightings
melee
of their
builds
unique
early.
rewards and making them more likely to drop Eldritch currency.
Oh, about fucking time.
Currently, in Siege of the Atlas, Elder and Shaper Scarabs are basically worthless because their influence is worse than the free influence you can get from the Eater of Worlds and the Searing Exarch.
So, yeah, really?
In Sentinel, you can now apply multiple types of influence to one
Oh,
map. So you could have Eater of Worlds
shit.
influence alongside a
Oh,
Shaper
man.
or Elder Scarab
Shit.
on a Conqueror map. Together, these 3 influences combined have a very large effect on that
That
map,
is
and this will make
super
Elder and Shaper
powerful.
Scarab significantly more
Holy
desirable.
shit.
That was a problem with last league because no one was
The
playing
start
Elder and
point of
Shaper.
encountering Shaper, Elder, or Conqueror influence and
But
influence
they will
items has
now. I
been
mean,
raised
look
to
at
level
this.
81
And you
areas.
get that on top of the Sentinels?
We've also fixed an issue that was causing some players to skip playing most of the contents of maps. On the lower half of the Atlas passive tree, there were a lot of small skills that granted a 2% chance for the map boss to drop an additional map. This meant that it was possible to sustain maps by rushing to those bosses and ignoring every other monster in the map. We have retained the overall bonus, but have changed it so the map drops from a random monster within the map rather than the boss.
Okay. Does that mean it's easier now to get
We're
a
also
next
addressing
map?
an issue with the way that you
it's-
acquire Maven boss fight
you have to kill the
invitations.
whole map to
Currently,
get
it's
it.
possible that you get
Not
hit
just
with a
the
bad
boss.
Well, you
streak of
just said
RNG
killed
and haven't found an
monsters, so-
invitation by the time you have enough
Unless you
boxes with
drop the
us.
percentage
You can
way
now
down.
purchase these invitations from Kirak for a moderate price if you need to.
It's better. Here
At
we
the
go.
launch of the Siege of the Atlas
Okay.
expansion, we hosted a competition that saw players racing to be the first to kill Path of Exile's pinnacle bosses in hardcore solo self-found mode. The main prize for doing so was the ability to collaborate with us on the design of a unique item that would drop from a boss in Path of Exile's endgame. 5 of these uniques have been designed so far and will be featured in this expansion. The 6th one will be released once the winner has time to design it, very likely in 3.19. Call of the Void is a new cold-themed ring that was designed by Lighty and will drop from the Uber Elder. It causes all damage to chill and causes chilled enemies to shatter on death, as though they were frozen. On top
That's
of this,
pretty good.
chilled enemies deal less damage back to you based on the magnitude of the chill affecting them.
Oh
The
man,
only
okay.
drawback is that all incoming damage also chills you, but there are many ways to mitigate this, and in some cases it's beneficial to builds that utilize self-chill as part of
Full
some crazy
chill
combo.
immunity.
This ring is useful for a
Yeah.
wide variety of different endgame builds. Echoes of Creation is a new unique helmet, also designed by Lighty, which will drop
Warcry.
from the Shaper. It's designed for builds that use Warcries and grants an extra use before cooldown to Warcry skills that are socketed in the helmet. It also grants more damage to exerted attacks based on the number of Warcries affecting them, but causes you to take damage when you use these attacks. The self-damage number looks really scary, but it can be mitigated by various mechanics such as armor, endurance charges, and life recovery. This powerful niche helmet is ideal for characters that try to use as many Warcries as they can. The third Lighty unique being introduced is the Burden of Truth, a unique
okay.
belt which will drop from Cyrus. Broadly speaking, this belt encourages you to have healthy energy shield and
Okay.
life pools and helps you to achieve this by granting you additional
Pretty
energy
tanky.
shield based on a percentage of your maximum life value. The belt both lets some portion of chaos damage hit your energy shield, but also causes some non-chaos damage to bypass your energy shield like it was chaos damage. This is often an upside because splitting damage over both life and energy shield lets
That'll
you
be a
recover both
1C
simultaneously.
item.
The Supreme Decadence Keystone that this belt grants, which is previously restricted to timeless jewels, causes your life flasks to apply to both your life and energy shield at a reduced rate. Overall, this belt is extremely powerful for characters who can build to have a decent energy shield pool while also using life flasks
RF.
appropriately.
Perfect for RF.
The 4th new item that we're featuring today was created by Waggle. It's an amulet called the Eternal Struggle, which will drop from either the Infinite Hunger or the Black Star. The amulet has a pair of Eldritch mods, and the one that is dominant will be based on which of the bosses dropped it. The dominant mod also controls whether the amulet gives a Malignant Madness or Culling
That's pretty
Strike
good.
bonus. You'll need
That's-
to work out which of the 2 bosses
That
to
actually
farm
makes
based on which half
that
of the
makes them
amulet you want to
farmable
activate.
bosses because they weren't dropping shit
The
before.
final unique we're showcasing today was
Well,
designed by
that's what I
Steel
think they're
Mage.
saying. They're
It's a unique
doing
jewel
this
that
on
drops
top
from
of
the
the
Maven.
Sentinel.
The jewel refers to a random keystone on your passive skill tree and enables you to be able to allocate passives within a radius around that keystone without them being connected to the rest of the tree.
Oh shit.
While the keystone itself cannot be allocated, this jewel allows you to jump across great distances on the passive tree in a very
That's pretty
skill point
good.
efficient way.
Oh shit.
In addition to these uniques that have come from the boss kill competition, we have added new unique items to the Uber Pinnacle boss fights that can be accessed through some of the new Keystone passives. These include a different variation of Thread of Hope that can drop from Uber Cyrus, a new unique jewel which can drop from the Uber Shaper, and special Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh jewels which can roll exclusive Ascendancy notable passives that are not available anywhere else in the game.
What?
Okay.
Oh
You'll notice that
god.
our last endgame expansion was just 3 months ago, and we're already extending the endgame even further. This is our plan for every expansion leading up to the release of Path of Exile 2. Rather than having a much bigger annual expansion, we plan to add as many endgame improvements into each quarterly expansion as we can, alongside its new Challenge League, so that there are new challenges to overcome every time you come back to Path of Exile. One of the subtle but important aspects of our plan is to keep adding powerful new chase rewards to Path of Exile's endgame, so that there are always new reasons to complete aspirational content.
Definitely
The
more.
boss kill competitions are great because they
What
not
the
only create
fuck
these
is
rewards,
that?
but also immortalize the achievements
What
of some
is-
of Path of Exile's
oh,
best
no.
players.
That's even harder than it
No.
was
To run
before.
another
That's
skill
nightmare.
competition at the launch of
No.
Sentinel. This time, players will have to defeat the Uber versions of boss fights that are unlocked by the special Keystone passives. We'll post full information in the
Gonna
lead
have
up
to build an
release.
immortal character for that one.
Oh my god.
We're going to
Fucking
try
hell.
something new with character balance in this expansion. We're
Oh no.
intentionally making no changes to character power. That
Good.
means no nerfs, no buffs, nothing.
Good.
Every single
Please.
build and build guide made for Siege
Forgive
of the
us.
Atlas will work exactly the same in
Oh,
Sentinel.
build guides all
You can
viable.
start planning your league starter right now with full confidence about exactly how it's going to play. However, build exploration is still required in 3.18. Sentinel introduces many difficult challenges, both in the Challenge League itself and in the endgame content. And you're going to have to work out a plan to create characters
This is
that are
like an
able to
all new
handle
way to
this
farm
content.
again.
But at this release, you can hit the ground running, knowing with confidence
Especially
which
boss
builds are a
farming.
good starting point for you. We don't intend to do this character balance freeze every release. For example, 3.19 definitely contains planned changes to character balance. Even
The
though
hell
there are
is
no
that?
character balance changes in 3.18 though, we have still made some changes to actual game content. For example, let's talk about the changes to monster modifiers. Magic and rare monsters in Path of Exile get a lot of their power from their modifiers. We came up with the majority of the monster mods over a decade ago, and only substantially added to them with the introduction of the Nemesis and Bloodlines leagues in 2013 and 2014. These mods are unfortunately showing their age. Many of them are unimpactful, and it's quite hard to quickly read their descriptions in the heat of combat. What we need is a new set of mods that are highly impactful in combat, keyworded with 1 to 2 colored words that are easy to read at a glance, and capable of producing dangerous combinations. This is exactly what we designed the Arch Nemesis mods to be, a replacement for the core monster mod pool. From 3.18 onwards, all previous monster mods have been replaced by Arch Nemesis mods.
Interesting.
No other part of the Arch Nemesis League has been retained, so there's no more inventory or recipe management. Magic monsters have 1 Arch Nemesis mod, shared across their pack, and rare monsters typically have 2 mods. However, it's possible to encounter rare monsters with 3 or even 4 Arch Nemesis mods on them. Combinations of multiple synergistic mods can create quite interesting situations in combat. For example, if you encounter a monster with both Storm Strider and Ice Prison, the Ice Prison may block you off so that you are more likely to run into the lightning mirages from the Storm Strider mod. We've done a balance pass over the Arch Nemesis mods before making them core. Some have certainly had their power reduced, particularly when applied to magic monsters. We have also changed how monster experience and drops are calculated, so it's now far more about the difficulty of the mods than about the proportional size of the monster. Various Nemesis and Bloodlines modifiers that were not represented in the Arch Nemesis mod pool have been added in different ways. Path of Exile's challenge system has remained the same for the last 21 leagues. For Sentinel, we had a look at whether there were any easy ways we could update it based on what we have learned over the last 6 years. Our plan is to retain the model of 40 challenges with rewards that unlock as you progress through them, but with a goal of providing substantially more challenge to endgame players, and substantially more rewards to go with it, of course. In order to achieve this, we have crunched down the easier challenges so that the first reward unlocks after only 6 and the second at 12. These are equivalent in difficulty to 12 and 24 challenges from the old system, respectively. This change gives us a lot more space to ramp up to some incredibly difficult challenges towards the end, which will take a lot of time and skill to complete. There are now 10 different rewards you can unlock, which comprise 2 complete armor sets, each with a pair of wings.
That's pretty.
But be warned,
That's
the
pretty
challenges
good.
you must complete are much, much harder than any that we have ever set you before. We've been experimenting with
They've
support
just
for game
expanded
controllers on
out
PC
the
version of
ability
Path
to
of
get
Exile.
more out of the game.
During the Arch Nemesis League, we began a
I'm
beta for
curious to
controller
see how well
support,
this works.
and have been making improvements based on your
Because you can
suggestions and
Steam Link to
feedback.
the TV and
We're
Xbox
pleased to announce that controller
Well,
support on
lazy
PC will
Sunday.
officially launch alongside the Sentinel expansion. This also means that Path of Exile is now fully playable on the Steam Deck for those of you who are lucky enough to have one so far.
Yeah, which is never going to be Australians and
Alongside
boys.
finishing controller support for PC, we've also done a push on various small quality of life features in this expansion, which we'll reveal over the coming days.
Oh,
An example is that you can now choose whether your hideout portals can be accessed by one of 4 options: everyone, your friends, your guild members, or no one.
Ooh.
We have also improved how favored maps are selected
Stupid
on the
for
Atlas.
trading.
Rather than having to click
Yeah,
on the map
okay.
on the Atlas for every slot, you
Oh,
can use
yes.
existing favored maps to
Oh,
quickly
okay.
copy
That's
it
so
to your
much
slot.
more
This
intuitive.
makes it a lot faster to favor many instances of the same map at once. There are plenty more small
Yeah,
QOL
that's
features
farming.
crammed into Sentinel, and we'll cover these over the week leading up to release.
oh man.
Early in the Arch Nemesis League, we debuted Kerrick's Vault Pass.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
Purchasing this pass grants you access to Kerrick's Vault, where you can claim exclusive unique item skins as you complete map bonus objectives in the Atlas endgame. The Vault Pass for the Arch Nemesis League is only available for a few more days and will leave the store forever when this league ends. There's no penalty for purchasing the pass late in the league after you've wrapped up your map completion, So if you are pleased with where you got to in Arch Nemesis and want to lock in your unique skins, it's not too late to buy your pass now. Thank you to everyone who unlocked Kerrick's Vault.
Yeah,
we
I
had a
bought
lot
it.
of fun putting it together and tried to think of fun ways that unique item skins
I,
can
yeah,
interact
I
with
couldn't
gameplay in a
not. I
visual
had to
way.
buy it.
The purchases directly fund development of both Path of Exile 1 and 2. A brand new Vault Pass will launch alongside the Sentinel League.
Of course it will.
Like the previous one, there are 8 exclusive unique item skins that can be unlocked as you complete map bonus objectives. We'll post full details on these new rewards closer to launch. To buy either the Arch Nemesis Pass now, before it leaves the store forever, or the Sentinel one when the expansion launches, go to pathofexile.com/vault.
I wish they expanded more on the quality of life.
Alongside today's live stream, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Arcanist and Reaper packs. Each tier contains
Probably
the pack's
gonna buy
full
Reaper.
face value in points, plus several exclusive microtransactions.
Let me see
These
it.
packs are only available during the Sentinel League and will leave the store forever in 3 months. Every microtransaction you are about to see is entirely cosmetic and does not affect your character's progression or power. The Arcanist Pack series contains 7 exclusive microtransactions. The Cloak of Elements indicates the power of your fire, cold, and lightning resistances on your back. When
That's
the resistance is capped,
cool.
the effect is extra strong.
Ooh, okay.
That's really cool.
While wearing the Ring of the Black Star, your level up effect looks like this.
Oh,
This
that's
is actually worth it, man.
dramatic.
In the Timekeeper's hideout, you can use the Chronosphere to change the time of day from dawn to noon to dusk.
Oh,
They're
okay.
really adding some quality in this. Fucking hell.
Daytime, nighttime maps. Okay.
This expansion is a fire, man.
With Chevron's tome on your belt, identifying items will cause exploding books to appear nearby.
Okay.
Nice, nice.
The Mage Blue map device blossoms with greater intensity as you open higher tier maps.
Well, I don't know about that one, but alright, I'll give him that. Something, I guess.
With the soul stunning weapon effect attached to your weapon, any attacks that stun will cause your enemies to have an out-of-body experience.
That's cool.
Actually, that's kind of cool. That's kind of
Drinking
cool.
from the searing Quicksilver flask causes an explosion and sets your character on fire. The Reaper Pack series also has 7 exclusive cosmetic microtransactions. The Soul Harvester's Cloak's power is based on the number of enemies your character has killed.
Oh, yes.
With the Belt of
Okay,
the Hive
that's
Queen
a big old
equipped,
meat.
flasks you use will cause blood-sucking insects to appear all over your character.
What the hell?
The Ghostlit Graveyard is a hideout where you can control the color of its torches.
Oh, okay, that's kind of cool.
It also comes with 6 exclusive hideout decorations. Medidrone will follow you around and use a healing beam on you whenever you're gaining life. Thanks, Medidrone.
Okay, I kind of like the drone.
The Underworld portal opens a gateway to Hell. Its effect upgrades in Part 2 and again in maps, where it indicates what tier of map you're playing.
I like that.
While wearing the Ring of the Exorcist, any spells you cast will exorcise the ghosts of your enemies if you crit. While using the Grim Reaper apparition, the Reaper will appear and cull any unique or rare enemies you slay.
That's some JoJo reference.
As I mentioned before, these packs are exclusive to the Sentinel League and will leave the store in 3 months. They're available right now.
They're actually both really good, man. I don't know which one to buy. I sort of want to get the first one.
And Path of Exile 1 expansions like
The
Sentinel.
leveling up
We
is pretty
greatly
cool,
appreciate
but I
your
can see it
support.
getting a little bit like obstructing.
Thanks for joining us and checking out today's reveals. We can't wait to see you in Rayclast on May 13th. We'll
May
begin the Q&A
13th.
in a few moments, so please get your questions ready in chat.
Makes me curious though how they're gonna set up Sentinels later on. Damn, man.